Is it time to back against Erling Haaland with the armband, and why I want to buy a Liverpool defender? Welcome back to another video. These are my early thoughts going into the international break. We're going to be chomping at the bit in 2 weeks for FPL to return. But whilst we do, let's have a look at the moves I might make moving forward. And of course, we're going to start with a review of the game week just gone. So without further ado, let me show you that team. It was pretty much a grey arrow. I'm around that million mark. It's fine. I had some wins in midfield and some absolute defeats in defence. So my back four, if you include Raya, 5 points, right? From Gabriel, from Raya, from Kilman and Senesi. My two defenders on the bench, 12 points. Yeah, I had Richards in my 11 all week. I actually polled it on the deadline stream, and you guys did agree with me that Richards should be benched. It was pretty much a split vote, I think, between Richards and Minter and Senesi and Kilman. I went with the wrong guy. I can only blame myself, as Richards got DEFCON and a clean sheet. By the way, that fixture, the derby between Brighton and Palace, I don't think there's been a clean sheet in the 8 games they've played in the Premier League so far. And here we are, both teams got a clean. Minter was part of that thinking. He blanked, Sarr blanked. Despite coming close, he keeps doing that. Sarr has 4 goals in his last two non-Premier League games. But look, I'm not going to get the violin out for long. Oh no, let me just keep it out for another second. Semenyo missed penalty, but we've all got Semenyo, whatever. By the way, Kluivert was off the pitch. We don't know if Semenyo is on pens when Kluivert's on the pitch. Kluivert got subbed off, and 3 minutes later, Semenyo got the pen. But big wins from Mbeumo. Happy with my 7. And Saka, 12 points. Thank you very much. As always, Erling Haaland returned, and we're going to talk about captaincy for game week 12 in just a second, so stay tuned for that. Guys, if you're enjoying the video, I would love you to hit the like button. It helps the algorithm, but please do subscribe if you're new around here. And look, let's have a look at my team moving forward. And I want to go through this with my potential changes, but I also want to go through with a little bit of forward planning and bring up fixtures. So first, before I show you my team, let me just talk you through the Liverpool fixtures from the ticker. So when we filter to game week 17, which is when a lot of players will leave for AFCON, some will leave in 16, some will play in 16, and some might even play in 17. There's talk that Brian Mbeumo could even play in 16 and 17. Maybe Mohamed Salah the same. So I like to filter this by AFCON, pretty much. Bournemouth have the best fixtures. This is why Semenyo probably isn't a sell. But I want to just highlight Liverpool's fixtures, because the Man City game's out the way now. We always felt like they would concede to Man City. Of course they did. But if you can't get a Liverpool attacker, is a Liverpool defender the route forward? I think it might be. Forest at home, clean sheetable fixture. West Ham is a good fixture. Sunderland, Leeds, Brighton, Tottenham. It's a really good run of 6 games. Now, of course, Mo Salah might be top of everyone's wish list, but you can't get him. You can't get to Salah if you're going to keep Haaland and you want to keep Saka and your Man United midfielder. Unless you're willing to rip up your team, and I'm not willing to do that, Salah's off the radar. So I'm looking at other alternatives. So when we talk about other alternatives, players I like from Liverpool, before I show you my team and where that could move, Dominic Szoboszlai, set pieces, playing number 10, amazing against Real Madrid. 6.7 million. I could easily get to Dominic Szoboszlai, and he's definitely front of mind as we go into game week 12. He's playing the sort of football at Liverpool that he's played for Hungary for years. The talisman, the number 10, on set pieces, on free kicks. Who knows, with Salah out the team, could he even be on pens? Don't know, could be McAllister, could be Isak if he's on the pitch. But when Salah's out the team at AFCON, Szoboszlai could be even better. Value pick, and the best midfield pick for me at Liverpool. But then I look at the defence. And look, when I look at Liverpool defenders, let me show you the Liverpool defenders, by the way. Virgil van Dijk, I probably can't get to him if I want to keep Arsenal, double Arsenal defence with Raya. But Konate, 5.4, Bradley, 5 million. They're worth looking at. They're really worth looking at those price points, and I can reach them. Konate, by the way, he's really good for DEFCON, and he'll offer a bit of goal threat. Not the same goal threat as Virgil van Dijk, but he's still good. So Liverpool defence is firmly on my mind, or Dominic Szoboszlai. But a Liverpool player, again, looking at the fixture ticker, they have the best attacking fixtures. This is filtered by attacking difficulty. Other than Bournemouth, they have the best over the next 6 game weeks. Okay. Now let me show you my team, how I'm set pre-transfers. Now I do have 1.3 million. It's part of the reason why I went for Raya over Calafiori. Part of the reason why I went on Burmo over Bruno. I wanted to have the funds because I know funds are going to be so precious. So at the moment, I've got 1.3 million in the bank and one free transfer. And this is how I'm set. So Raya in goal. For those listening on podcast, I'll read through my team and just give a bit of explanation. I've got Richards at the back, who, by the way, that 8-pointer killed me, but I'd surely be starting this week. Gabriel and then Senesi with a home fixture against West Ham. Am I happy with these defenders moving forward? Yeah, I can't see me selling these. If I'm getting to a Liverpool defender, how do I get there? Well, Mukiele's not going anywhere, but Kilman of West Ham, you'll see there's my 5th defender. He's absolutely gone now. West Ham have the worst fixtures. I don't think they're going to keep many clean sheets. He doesn't get DEFCON. Todibo, his centre-back partner, does. And Kilman needs to leave this team. He's fine as a 5th defender, sure. But if I want to get to a Liverpool defender, he's the one I'm willing to sell very comfortably. So one move I could make is Kilman to Bradley, Kilman to Konate. I've got the funds to do that. With 1.3 million in the bank, I've got several options with this team. If I don't go down the Liverpool route, another route, of course, is just to simply roll the transfer. But something I've had at the back of my mind since I wildcarded him out is Daniel Munoz and bringing him back in. He was perfectly good for me in the first 7 weeks. And then I think in game week 7 and 8 combined, in those 2 game weeks after I sold him, he had 3 attacking returns. He scored and he got 2 assists. And he can do that in any given game against any given opponent. And knowing Crystal Palace's fixtures are so good, and they really are good Palace's fixtures, like they're 4th in the attacking ticker here. It's Wolves, Man United, Burnley, Fulham, City, Leeds. And there's a reason I have Ismail Assar. And there's a reason I've got Mateta. I like to joke a little bit and say that front 3 of Palace is Munoz, Sarr and Mateta. It's not strictly true. Jeremy Pino might have something to say about that. But Munoz is often in the box and he's like a wide forward at times. Chris Richards to Munoz, I've got the money to do it. If I don't see myself getting to a Liverpool player or wanting a Liverpool player long term, and I'll think about this during the international break, and I can't see where I need to upgrade elsewhere, spending the extra on Richards to Munoz, I think is worth it. Now, sure, Richards goes and gets DEFCON more than Munoz. Munoz is simply going to outscore him over the season, isn't he? Surely. He's going to get a fair few goals, a fair few assists. In fact, I feel like they're coming. And actually buying Munoz at a time when he hasn't just produced attacking returns in recent weeks is probably a good thing, because it means the market's a little bit quieter for him. He hasn't had the price rise. He's still 5.7 million. He hasn't got the ownership. He hasn't been hitting the DEFCON even in recent weeks. He's had a 4, a 6 and a 5. Before that, it was an 11 and a 16 in those weeks where he got the goal and 2 assists. So, yeah, pretty huge performance there in game week 7 and 8 when I sold him for an 8 and a 10 pointer. But since then, it's been, a 2, a 6, a 6. Still, Palace get clean sheets. I'd still have cover at Palace defence, but I would have their right winger in Daniel Munoz. And he is someone I'm definitely considering for a move in game week 12. I'll reveal, of course, more about my team in the team selection video. But yeah, let's crack on with the rest of the team. And then when we look at the midfield, like who would go if I was to bring in a Szoboszlai? Well, look, Minter's fixtures are really good moving forward. I look at Minter and I go, you are the live wire at Brighton. When they are chasing a game against Palace and they're making all the attacking subs, who do you know is going to stay on the pitch and get 90 minutes? Minter. He's become a bit of a sort of first choice pick there for Hörsler. And when you look at his minutes in recent weeks, he's had a 90, an 87, a 90, an 89, a 90, and 90. In fact, this season, he's only come off 3 times. 75, 89, 87. I like Brighton. I know they didn't score versus Palace, but Brighton have now 3 home fixtures in their next 4. It'd be silly to sell Minter now. Brentford at home, Forest away, tough trip. But then Villa at home and West Ham at home. And Brighton are better at home. So I fancy them to score goals in those 3 home fixtures against Brentford, Villa and West Ham. I can't sell him. I just can't. So then I look at my midfield and go, yeah, I'm fairly happy with it. Saka's not going anywhere. And I think a lot will be buying Saka this week. We finally got our big return from Saka. 12 points I was delighted with. He even got DEFCON. The only Arsenal player to get DEFCON at the weekend, unlikely source, was Bukayo Saka. And then it's Mr. Points Dodger himself, Ismail Assar. But the fixtures are there. Wolves, it's the right time to play Wolves. They'll have a new manager, sure. But I still fancy Palace versus Wolves. And we know Sarr can just do damage. He went and got a brace at Anfield 2 weeks ago in a EFL Cup game. Man United at home, Burnley away. We're going to talk about that home fixture versus Man United because I think that is, in Game Week 13, a week I might free hit. I'm going to talk about free hit in a second. Semenyo, loads of blanks. Is it time to sell him? I don't think so. Like, are we frustrated that we've had 4 blanks in a row? Of course we are. He's still Bournemouth's best player. He's still got great fixtures moving forward. And he's still probably on maybe on penalties. I'm keeping the faith with Semenyo. And then Mbeumo, very, very, very happy with. We need to talk about captaincy in Mbeumo. So free hit and captaincy. We're going to get to those discussions in a minute, guys. Stay tuned for that and do hit that like and subscribe button if you're new around here. Thank you as always for the support, guys. So the forwards, I've got a dead spot now. Guiu and Haaland and Mateta aren't going anywhere. Let's talk about free hit Game Week 13 and then come back to this team for captaincy. So I want to load the fixture ticker again from Scout. No, I don't. I don't want to do that. I want to show you some players I'd take out on free hit. So 2 fixtures on Game Week 13 that I could avoid. Chelsea-Arsenal. I think that's a tough trip for Arsenal going to Stamford Bridge. I could remove Raya. I could remove Gabriel. I could remove Saka if I wanted to. And then Man United versus Palace. I've got Richards, Sarr, Mateta and Mbeumo. I could take out 7 players there. 7 of my 11 who are playing each other. I could also, now I'll load the fixture ticker, go big on a handful of teams in Game Week 13. Who do I really like? Well, let's start with the top at Liverpool there versus West Ham. Yeah, quite like that. Like I'd go Mo Salah, I think, away to West Ham. I'm pretty sure I would. But the big one, and it's the early kickoff, Man City versus Leeds. That's the one we want to chase, isn't it? We get a team leak, probably. If we hear Foden starting, punt Foden in. If we hear Doku starting, punt him in. Obviously, Haaland. I quite like that matchup, and I think that's a big reason why I'd want a free hit. Aston Villa at home to Wolves. Could you punt on a Villa attacker? Probably. Brentford at home to Burnley. Igor Thiago. Probably go there. He's just got a brace this weekend. So there's a few fixtures there that massively do stand out. And as I say, I'd be swerving Chelsea, who play Arsenal. I'd be swerving Man United, who play Palace. And I'd go big on Man City. I'd have Salah. I'd have Igor Thiago. I like that very much, 13. I think that's where I'm at. Free hit 13 is very likely to happen. And it's good to try and bookmark in a free hit window if you can, because it will affect your moves moving forward. I might have gone, I'm going to buy Igor Thiago this week. I didn't. Maybe I should have. He just braced. This is an example. I wasn't looking at him. But knowing I can get him in Game Week 13, that's the plum fixture I want him for, Burnley at home, right? So, yeah, fairly comfortable with that. Next discussion point we need to have is captaincy. A few backed against Haaland versus Liverpool. He still scored. A few, including myself, backed against Haaland earlier this season when he went to the Emirates. Tough trip. Can you really back him against Saliba and Gabriel? He never scores against Arsenal. Well, a different Haaland beast mode this season. He scored against Liverpool. He scored against Arsenal. This guy has hit new heights. The best player in the game by some distance. Do you want to back against him in what is a really tough trip? St James's, I know Newcastle have been rubbish, but they're a different beast at home. They really are a good outfit at home. Could you chase a sweet, juicy home fixture for an Arsenal or a Man United and Captain Mbeumo, Captain Bruno if you've got him, Captain Bukayo Saka? If he had blanked versus Liverpool Haaland, I think I'd be on that. I think I'd be looking at Mbeumo and Saka going, yeah, probably do it. And that was the plan. It was part of the reason why I bought Mbeumo, was I capped him against Everton. Seeing Haaland play against Liverpool, I know he missed a pen, but it's out the way now. But the header alone, I'm pretty confident I'll probably go Haaland. I'm probably 70% Haaland, 20% Mbeumo, 10% Saka in the North London derby. That's where I'm at with captaincy. But again, these are my early thoughts. A lot can change in the international break. We could get injuries, we could get niggles, we could get team news. Watch this space for more. I've got lots planned for the international break in terms of videos for you guys. So do hang around, do hit the notification bell, and I will see you very soon. Bye-bye.